What is going on, YouTube? Fascinating graveyard. Today we are in Florence, South Carolina. This is the Mount Hope Cemetery. And today we're going to visit the grave of Melvin Purvis. If you don't know who he is, second to J. Edgar Hoover, he is probably the most famous FBI agent of all time. He is responsible for the capture and deaths of Babyface Nelson and Pretty Boy Floyd. He was at the scene of both capture/deaths, and he actually claimed that he was the one that was responsible for pulling the trigger that killed Pretty Boy Floyd, but that claim is often discredited. Some people say that it was actually officers of the East Liverpool, Ohio Police Department that shot him, and another FBI agent said that he was already wounded when Melvin shot him. And there's actually another rumor that says that, Pretty Boy Floyd was actually wounded, but still very much alive. And that Poivis had questioned him about the whereabouts of the other gangsters that he was chasing, and that he wouldn't talk, and that he actually shot him. So I guess that would be called a murder. Neither here nor there. But he's probably most famously known for being in charge the night that Dillinger was killed. He wasn't at the location of that capture, but he was in charge. Originally, Melvin Purvis was a lawyer. I don't know why, but he decided that maybe, being a lawyer wasn't as exciting as killing gangsters. So he joined the FBI and quickly rose up in the ranks, and he was put in charge of field offices in Oklahoma, Cincinnati, and finally he was put in charge of the Chicago field office by J. Edgar Hoover. And after these, capture/deaths, he was very, very famous. And there was one person that worked at the FBI that did not like the fact that he was getting so much media attention and fame, and that is one J. Edgar Hoover, the old cross-dresser himself. Well, that's a rumor, but I don't know. I don't know about Mr. Hoover there, but anyways, and immediately afterwards, there was some kind of effort to get Poivis kicked out of the FBI. He eventually later on left on his own accord. I don't know what methods were used to drive him out of the FBI, but it worked. He left, and he went back to being a lawyer. And that was it. He later joined the U.S., either joined the U.S. Army or he worked in some faction. Actually, no, I take that back. He did join the Army. I guess that man always needed some kind of adventure in his life. He rose to the rank of colonel in the U.S. Army during World War II. And even though he was only 5'4", apparently, I guess he had a tough man complex, because some gangsters or some criminals that he questioned, if you will, during interrogations would often say that he would punch them in the face. A couple of them lost their teeth. They were starved, lost a lot of weight. So apparently this guy was a fan of torture, perhaps. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Those are just rumors. But it was widely known in the FBI that Melvin Purvis was not a man that you want to mess with at all. And on February 29th, 1960, Melvin was found dead at the top of a staircase in his home. Looked like, according to the coroner's report, it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. This is his grave right here. Melvin Purvis. This is his grave right here. Somebody left a quarter and a penny. I wonder what that means. Quarter and a penny, 26 cents. You let me know in the comments below. And this would be his wife. And right here, would this be his son? Vietnam. Perhaps his son. It is his son, actually. So there's also a couple odd facts about his death. Number one, there's been a lot of rumors that this was not self-inflicted, that he was murdered. Also, fun fact, the gun that was used to shoot him, whether he did it himself or he was shot, was actually the same gun that was got from a gangster named Gus Winkler, who was shot and killed in Chicago in the early mid-30s. So I guess when they shot and killed him, I guess they took his gun as a souvenir, and it was given to Mr. Poivis as some kind of a souvenir. Anyways, who knows? Who knows what happened to him? I mean, and they're even saying that later on, after the investigation, after they declared it that it was that Mr. Poivis intended on harming himself, that they're even thinking possibly it was an accident, that maybe he was cleaning the gun and he accidentally shot himself. I have no idea. By the way, if you're wondering what I'm doing with a can of tuna filled with birdseed, well, it's a weird thing that I do. I take all my coffee lids and my tuna cans and cat food cans, and I fill them with birdseed, and then I leave them on graves. So if you ever see an empty tuna can on the ground of a graveyard, hey, if you have some birdseed on you, feel free to fill it up for me, please. Anyways, hey, just a quick, fascinating story about a fascinating man. And many of you maybe have never heard of him, but if you were around in the 30s, number one, God bless you. And number two, if you're a big fan of history, yeah, this man was, when Dillinger was caught, yeah, he was like probably the most famous man for that week in the country. Okay, guys, fascinating graveyard. I'll catch up with y'all later. Don't forget, guys, I do have a TikTok if you care. It's Lamont at Large. Also, there's a YouTube channel with that same name, Lamont at Large. Catch up with y'all later. I'm out of here. Peace.